Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Thompson. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links for that and others down below in the info box. I will get to it as soon as I can if you do send one. It could be any review, re-review, topic, commentary, reaction, video game playthrough, re-review, anything in between, tier list, ranking, movie news, what have you, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. For those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Now, Thompson, very nice guy, wanted me to talk about Wanted Man with Dolph Lundgren, which came out in 2024. Now, not only does Dolph star in the film, but he helped write the film with two other guys, and then he directed the film. Now, before I start, I'm a big Dolph Lundgren fan. I am. I Come in Peace is one of my favorite films, literally one of my favorite films ever. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking up there with some of the Blu-rays I have. I really do like The Punisher. Men of War I got from MVD recently. Underrated film. Dolph did. Men of War, great one. Universal Soldier, Rocky 4, Red Scorpion. Even some of his direct-to-video stuff. I liked The Defender. I liked The Russian Specialist, also known as The Mechanic with a K at the end. So there's been Battle of the Damned. Yeah, there's some iffy special effects, but you know, it's a B movie. That was fun. I had fun with that movie. It's very, very low budget, but Dolph gets to hit the shit out of zombies. Yeah. The other one he did with zombies, Dead Reckoning, whatever that was fucking awful. But Command Performance, I wanted to bring that up. Very fun movie. I mean, he's a drummer for a rock band and becomes diehard at a concert. He stabs someone with broken drums. Was it guitar? I think guitar they broke. Dying's easy. Rock and roll is hard. So I really like Dolph, and I'm so glad he's cancer-free. Because for those who don't know, for the past quite a few years, he was battling cancer. And was it 2022? I guess this was filmed in 2022 and didn't get released till now. Now, 2022, some around this time or a little bit before, they found like a big tumor in his liver, and the doctor was saying he didn't tell anybody because he wanted to keep it private, but the doctor was saying you probably got like 2 or 3 years to live. But thankfully, he died with someone else. They helped him out. Right now, he's cancer-free. So I'm very glad to hear that, because I'm a big fan of the guy. I wish the guy nothing but the best. All I've heard is good things about Dolph. I like a lot of his films. He's done interviews he seems like a nice guy. I love the guy. Now, I don't know if this is one of those films he did because I'm guessing that treatment cost a lot of money. I know at one point he got divorced as well, so that's money to pay. And again, those doctor bills probably cost a ton of money. So maybe that's why he's doing films like this. And just instead of just retiring and relaxing. If so, I understand. I'm not going to be as harsh. Like, for example, there's a Sylvester Stallone film I reviewed recently called Armor, which I think is a total piece of shit. And I was much more down on Sly because I'm like, he knows better. He should do better. This is different circumstances, and I will say Wanted Man was a better movie than Armor, because at least this had some merit. Again, it's a better movie. The few action scenes they're handled competently. There's actual blood squibs, so Dolph seems to know that's a thing people like. So people get shot. It's not just CGI. It's an actual blood squib. I know. It's sad that has to be something I gotta be amazed by, but sadly it is because it's rarely used. There's some recognizable people in there. Kelsey Grammer, who's in The Expendables 3. Michael Pare, who was in a few films with Dolph. He was in a couple of them. Was it Direct Contact, and I think it's that one. And I know there was another one. I forget what the hell it was called though. Anyway, he's done a couple with Dolph. And the thing of it is, with all that said, it's a very mid movie. Very middle of the road. It's not going to be a complete bashing of the film. It's just very mid. I saw it once. It was there, okay, but I will never see the film again. He's done way worse, like Shark Lake and Dead Trigger. I think it was Dead Trigger that I was thinking of. That's the terrible. He's done 2 zombie films, and that was the terrible one. Shark Lake, Dead Trigger. What was the sci-fi film I always bring up? I can't believe it. I can't remember. It's so bad I can't remember the damn name of it. It's the Dolph film I always said was the worst one I saw, and I forgot the damn name of it. Maybe that's for good reason. It's the one that he was in with Gary Daniels, like a sci-fi one. So bad I don't need to say the name. But it's far from his best. I can appreciate that he tried to play a little bit of a different character. In this case, the setup is there's a drug deal that went wrong. This masked group comes in to this drug deal. There's 2 guys who are undercover DEA agents, but the masked men, they like recognize them, but they shoot them anyway. You find out later who those guys are. Meanwhile, 2 hookers escape, and they're witnesses. This all takes place in Mexico. Meanwhile, Dolph is a cop, which they try to throw a little bit of political stuff, which I'm like, I don't know, because I'm so sick and tired of politics. I don't even want to see my action films. But it's Dolph, which, like I said, this might have been around the time he was sick, that he had the cancer, so you could tell he doesn't look the best. And also, I don't know if he hurt his ankle before making the film, because I swear, like, the entire time he's limping, or at least seems like he's limping. And it was just sad to see that. Just sad to see Dolph this way, where it's like he could barely walk, and he's very sluggish, and you tell he's like a bit tired on the face. And as I'm stuttering, if this is in the middle of the cancer stuff, and then if he had hurt his ankle, whatever had happened, then it's just like, okay, idea, he's doing it for the money to help pay, but it was still sad to see. And it would be nice that he had a nice nest egg and just retire, relax. I love to see these action guys do podcasts and, talk about their older films, since everybody else has a podcast. But apparently Dolph's character, there's video footage where he beat up a Latin American and then called him Mexican lowlife. It got caught on camera, caught on the phone. It's a media nightmare. And his boss says, you don't go to Mexico. Get these 2 hookers, transfer them from Mexico to the U.S. Says they're going to be witnesses. And Dolph, he's playing a kind of racist character. Now, it's not the first time he's played a racist character. He was an all-out, I forget what you call it. He's pretty much with the KKK and puncher wounds. But it's not quite, I forget what it's called, it's not totally, it's the other, I forget what the hell they're called. But yeah, Puncher Wounds with the star Kunle. Dolph was. That's one thing I liked about that movie. I wasn't big on the movie, but Dolph's performance was. I actually didn't mind his performance in that. Just that was very different. Like, that's him being very, very a racist character. This is, being an idiotic character with what he's saying. Because you see him at a bar. At the bar is his other cops, including Kelsey Grammer, including Michael Pare, and they're saying lines like, "Oh, you're the most wanted man of the Me Too generation," and "Oh, they use our country as a doormat, and they wipe their feet off." And if they're not talking about race, they're talking about, "Hey, spend some time with your mother in the Bronx. I'll go spend some time with your mom in the broom closet." "Oh, well, she's decomposing." So, I mean, that's the dialogue you have. It's cool to see Kelsey Grammer. I like Kelsey Grammer. And he does what he can for what limited. I mean, he's in 3 or 4 scenes. He's not in it a whole lot. Same with Michael Pare. From Eddie and the Cruisers and a lot of other stuff. Of course, Kelsey Grammer was on Frasier. He was Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons. And it was nice to see them. They did well for what little they had. Dolph goes down to Mexico, gets the 2 ladies. There's this other cop who's a friendly guy. They're traveling back. They get ambushed. The cop and one of the 2 hookers get killed. Dolph kills the 2 assassins, but he's wounded. He's losing blood. Ultimately, the other hooker gets him, helps him, takes him back to her family's place with her mom and her cousin and other people. And then a good chunk of the film is just Dolph handcuffed to her bed. He's handcuffed to a bed. I'm like, what is it? Don't turn to Misery? See, that'd be interesting. Dolph in a Misery type of situation? That'd be interesting. But no. It's just him resting and just realizing that, oh, wow, Mexicans are human beings too. Maybe I should not be a racist douchebag. And that's what I mean. It's just, I can appreciate Dolph wanting to do something a little bit different character-wise, but it's just, there's not much action. Now, granted, should I be looking for that? Because Dolph is very, very old. He's broken down. He can't do as much. But it's just, you're between a rock and a hard place when you have stuff like this. There's some people you don't advertise it like an action film. People don't go in and they'll be, It's going to be very, very talky. And then if you see it for the drama, then it's like, okay, these are not like the most articulately, I did on purpose, fucked it up on purpose, articulate fashion of strips. But it's just like, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of talk. There's probably 4, well, if you don't count the beginning, there's probably 3 little action scenes. There's the bit where Dolph kills the 2 guys. Spoilers. And spoilers. From here on out. After he's healed up a bit and he makes a phone call to his boss, so people come. The girl's cousin gets killed. Dolph shoots a couple with a shotgun. Goes outside, kills someone with a knife. Like a butcher knife. Like, that was cool to see. No stupid over-the-top CGI shit in there. Appreciate that. And then the end is just a very slow, little sluggish showdown where says goodbye to the girl's family, gets a hug from the mom, given a necklace. Him and the girl go off because Dolph's going to get the girl over. Calls some buddies, including Kelsey Grammer, Michael Pare. And if you've seen enough of these movies, you know where this is going. So it's fairly predictable. You know, yep, those are the bad guys. Especially when you have these familiar faces. More than likely, when they have these familiar faces in a movie like this, is because, oh, they don't be the bad guy. They don't be utilized in the third act. And they are. Three dirty cops. There's I forget the one guy's name. Him, Michael Pare, and Kelsey Grammer. Oh, we'll take you right in our truck. She recognizes something, tells Dolph. Dolph trusts her. He goes, hey, Kelsey, let's talk outside. They pull the guns on Dolph. The third guy is like, well, no, we shouldn't be doing this. Come on, like, he's one of us. Grabs the gun. Kelsey kind of accidentally shoots him. And then it's just this sluggish struggle where the girl's on Kelsey Grammer. Michael Pare and Dolph, they're going a little bit like wrestling on the ground. They throw like one or two punches at each other on the ground, rolling around. Dolph shoots Michael Pare. And then shoots Kelsey Grammer before Kelsey shoots the girl. They get into the vehicle as the third guy who tried to help. He dies from his gunshot wounds. Get in the truck, go off. They deal with these people. They dare cross the border. Then it's like they try to do this thing that I guess is trying to be very dramatic and slow-mo. Like, is the border cop going to kill the illegals? And Dolph's like, no. It didn't work. It just, I don't know if it's trying to set up suspense, tension. I just went like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I know what's going on, but it's like, it didn't work. It didn't work. Then Dolph is commended by his boss, and him and the girl gonna go out for his coffee, and the movie's over. And that's the thing, it's not an action-packed movie. It is predictable. Has the tropes of a guy who is racist, then finds out, oh, they have families too, and is not racist anymore. Or, oh, his buddy who's a famous actor we recognize. Oh, I hope they're not a bad guy. They're a bad guy. Because, like, Dolph, because of how broken down he is, and it doesn't help with all the stuff going on in his life, especially at the time, he just can't do much. He can't do much. And again, this isn't as incompetently made as Stallone's film Armor that he was in. It's not as embarrassing as Expendables 4. But, man, again, I get it, Dolph. If you did this because, hey, get some money and help with the bills, I can understand that. It's a far cry from the glory days of Dolph. It's not the worst film he's done, but it's very mid. Meh. I don't know what else to say. Just hard seeing the guys you like get older, but that happens to everybody. Again, like I said about Stallone and other guys, Dolph tries to play at least a little different type of character, to be fair. But I mentioned this with Sly, so I'll mention with Dolph and these other actors. I wish they would be more like Nicolas Cage. Now, to be fair, Dolph has done a little bit more where, again, like he was that racist bad guy in Puncher Wounds, and he's more willing to be a nasty bad guy. Sometimes in crappy films like the... You know what? Let me look up Dolph, his filmography, real quick. Well, not real quick, but just because. Because I don't have much to say about the film. It is very middle of the road. But let me go through what I've seen of his quickly. So it's not like, another 15 minutes. He had a bit part in A View to a Kill, Roger Moore's last James Bond film, which was there. Rocky IV's classic. Masters of the Universe. I could watch it as a bit of a goofy nostalgia piece, but I don't love the film, but I probably hate the film less than I did back in the day. Red Scorpion, really solid one. The Punisher, one of my favorites of his. I Come in Peace, my favorite Dolph film. Cover Up, awful movie. Very boring. Showdown Little Tokyo is a classic. Universal Soldier is a classic. Joshua Tree, I prefer the title Army of One. I prefer that version of the film because the ending has a bit more action in the final fight scene. But when Shout Factory released it, I guess they could not be allowed to use that version. I don't know what the reason is. So they used the other version, which has a bit of a shorter ending. But I like Army of One. Pentathlon is not for me. Could not get into. Men of War, I think, is underrated. Johnny Mnemonic. He got killed by Flipper in that movie. What the fuck? Flipper killed Dolph Lundgren in that movie. That's bullshit. The Shooter, I think that's Hidden Assassin. Very lackluster considering it's Ted Kotcheff, the guy who did First Blood and Uncommon Valor. I expected better. It's not that great. The Peacekeeper, well, okay, Silent Trader is pretty decent. The Peacekeeper, pretty decent. Kind of a Die Hard type of movie. Has a cool car chase among rooftops, which I'm like, wow, that looks pretty cool for a direct-to-video movie. Very ambitious. But I like The Peacekeeper. The Minion, that could have been a lot better. Because the plot, in a way, is kind of like The Hidden type of thing. Like, it's a body jumping movie. Where the killer body jumps from person to person, like Fallen, The First Power, Hidden, that type of stuff. Should have been a lot better. Sweepers, I think that's a bit underrated. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I liked Sweepers. Bridge of Dragons is decent. Stormcatcher, I don't mind for what it is. Rest in peace to director Anthony Hopkins. Jill Rips, a.k.a. Jill the Ripper. If you want to see Dolph deal with a kind of like a remake of Tightrope with Clint Eastwood. Not a fan. The Last Warrior, I think that's one of Dolph's worst. Agent Red, that's one of Dolph's worst. Hidden Agenda is very forgettable. Detention is meh. Direct Action I like. I think that's a fun, straightforward movie where Dolph kicks a lot of ass. Retrograde, that was the one I was thinking of. That's maybe the worst Dolph Lundgren film I've seen. The Defender I liked. Russian Specialist I liked. Command Performance I liked. I like the first Expendables. Icarus, that's the Killing Machine. That was okay. Missionary Man, not a fan. Diamond Dogs, not a fan. Direct Contact. I thought it was okay, but then I realized a lot of the action was just stuff stolen from other movies, and I'm like, okay, well, that makes me like it even less. Missionary Man, I mentioned it, but that was pretty lame. And the Name of the King 2 was awful. Stash House, that's the one where he was a bad guy. I thought that was pretty shitty. One in the Chamber was very forgettable. That was the one with Cuba Gooding Jr. Did not like the direct-to-video Universal Soldier sequels. The Package was okay with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Battle of the Damned I liked. Then a lot of forgettable stuff. Ambush, Blood of Redemption, Punch-a-Roons. That was the one with Dolph. Aryan Brotherhood, that's what it was. Aryan Nation. That's where Dolph is a racist. Aryan is what I was thinking of. Stand Trade I really like. But he did like Shark Lake, which is awful. Don't Kill It was disappointing. Dead Trigger was awful. Blackwater was very disappointing. And honestly, some of the stuff I didn't even see. Like The Tracker, I don't think I saw. Acceleration. Pups Alone. Section 8. I didn't see any of those, I don't think. Council Falls was meh. Showdown at the Grand. I remember seeing the trailer for that. That was the one with Terrence Howard. I guess he's in some Isaac Florentine called Hellfire. Stars Stephen Lane. Dolph Lundgren, Harvey Keitel are in it. Well, Stephen Lane is the lead, not Dolph. I mean, Dolph, he can't do a whole lot anymore. So there's something called Exit Protocol. There's that film that they started making with Tony Jaa, the comedy western, A Man Will Rise. That unfinished. Apparently, there's gonna be a documentary, Dolph Fights Worth Fighting, which that'd be cool to see. I'm sure it'd be about his fight with the cancer, but yeah. Blackjack, that's the one with John Woo. It was a pilot for a TV show that never got made. Cool opening, but after that kind of fell off. Anyway, those are quick thoughts on the ones I've seen of his. So there you go. So I figured I'd just add that in at the end to say that I do like Dolph. I don't love all of them, but there's a good chunk that I do like. So this, like I said, it's just in the middle. With that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.